Morning. Welcome back to the Ahn Rho Project, guys. It's been a very long time. About 9 days in the making, I have not made a live stream, and things have gone back to shit. So, right before we start, so what's going to be covered in this stream? So, what you see is what you get. Welcome to the Ahn Rho Project. Today, we're going to be doing another logistics stream, a continuation of the previous live streams I had done, again, wherever you're from on Twitch, Periscope, YouTube Live, wherever you're from. The previous live stream, I was covering chaos. And if you see the title, what you see is what you get, and what you see in my room is what you get. I'm just going to scroll around so you have a good picture of all the mess that we have to cover, even around here on my table here. So it's an absolute mess, and I have to cover maybe about, if we break it down to the nitty-gritty tasks, to about maybe 150 items or tasks that I will speak of in this stream. So it's going to be a lot. We're going to try to also cover on the high level all the domains that they fit in, so the categories such as finance, relationships, money, volunteering, organizations, employment, business, entertainment, food, groceries, items, materials. All these things just came in at the same time, all at once. And the past 2 months and ongoing now, it seems that it's still continuing, is a complete hectic mess. And I had a complete meltdown. You take a look in the title, actually it's happened several times. But we're just going to deep dive right into it. So before that, I'm going to try to summarize the Ahn Rho Project, of course, if you're familiar, is this. You can check the previous live streams as well. Finance, I guess, come together and just hit at the wrong time, at the wrong place, all at the same time. Everything collapsed under strain in these past maybe 2 to 3 months now, and so hence the chaos. So it's like a survival game in real life, a modern day survival game. These are some analogies I pull. It's also like a business inventory segment. Obviously, a lot of these things are inventory, things that I purchase or use or I receive in some way I have to cover on stream. It's also, if you take a look on my channels, I suppose also in a Human Encyclopedia. It's me taking a time capsule of myself, so that maybe 30 years down the road, if I make it to that long, if I don't get run over by the bus tomorrow morning, right, I'll end up watching this and being able to see how things have changed or grown. So overall, that's the Ahn Rho Project. Many sub-series, from the item catalog sub-series to the logistical review, and I've covered those in previous streams, but today's stream is really just a very rushed logistic review, and I'm going to go through the entire room, just check marking everything. I have to mention that in the title it does say System Revolution, so I believe that I've been waiting to do this for a while now, and I just need the pressure to compel me to fix up the way I do the Ahn Rho Project, to constantly amend and revise the way I do things. So this is just, I guess you could think of evolution. That's the way to take this. The more you practice, the more you work out the kinks, the things that don't work with your methodology, and you become more practical minded and you become far more efficient. So long story short, the logistic review sub-series of the Ahn Rho Project, where I go about my entire room like I am today, and I'm going to in the next 10 minutes, basically, I'm going to have to rehash that completely, given how much there is to cover in such a short time frame. So I'm basically doing away with one of my personal insecurities that I want to resolve on the Ahn Rho Project, which is my perfectionism. And thank goodness I'm getting to that point. So why don't we get started here? I'm going to start isolating some places here and start saying, what's the rough number of items here. On this table here, there's maybe about 7 items, I would say. You can see some food, some health-related stuff, business-related stuff, garbage. We have on this end in the closet, we have something on the inside supposed to be on the floor right now. It's some bags, but we also have these 3 pillars right here of, we'll get to that, it's from my workplace, as well as the missing clothing up there. So that's connected to this. So my laundry that I was late for, I have to cover that as well. So maybe about 4 things in sort of the closet area, or kind of clothing related things. I should mention, if I'm going to speak about clothing and work related things, there's some stuff up here such as this back support belt, and underneath it is something that I still haven't, that it's like almost a stack of books or paperwork, and all that stuff is piled together so that I can go to my caregivers. So there's relationships now, deep diving into that. And like I said, I've been trying to I guess bring one of my caregivers back up to health, because she cannot work, she cannot cook, she cannot do anything, and she's suffering every single day. And so we're gonna talk a little bit about that once again. So there's some clothing there I need to start to talk about, but also that pile of stuff for my caregiver. And of course, how could we forget three main areas with maybe about 80 different items. So maybe like 25, 30 here, and then we have, it's like 50 actually. I'll talk about that in a second. We have all these grocery items up here and here, and the work-related stuff. So at least 150 items, and we're just gonna run roughshod straight through all of this. And why don't we begin? So, all right. And at the very end, of course, I should mention, we're going to do a take-home message. If I get the time, if I get the chance, I might have to do a second stream. I'm not sure, but that's important as well. So why don't we start right here? So before I start the live stream, okay, I actually had this, the lights on, but it's not very helpful. I was drinking this stuff here. So, Ensure Glucerna. On this desk, we have a whole bunch of stuff. So you see all the nutritional supplements, okay? And that's important. So I've been starting to test Hepa Plus from Usana, as well as Proflavanol C, in addition to the packages that I usually had started testing with, which is the health pack. Okay, so I'm now being a lot more open about what business I'm speaking of right here, and what sort of health-related stuff and nutritional stuff and biomedical research that I'm doing and performing on myself, and eventually want to consider doing that with my caregiver, because she's in a horrible state of affair right now in terms of her body. So that's one thing there. I started to use Proflavanol C and Hepa Plus. The next step was then I had to schedule the next thing. Sorry, there was a little bit of a cutoff right there. The next additional dosages of nutritional supplements, which were Proglucamune as well as Biomega. So there were some other things here that I had to schedule, because then I had to consider afternoon or morning when I'm going to take them, how I'm going to take them with food. So that's at least 2-3 items regarding scheduling and supplementation. It's related to health, it's related to business, because I am in that as well. And then on top of that, we have around here, you see all these garbage. You have Ensure and Glucerna bottles. Long story short, things I purchased as groceries, so that whenever I didn't have enough time over these past 2 months, absolutely hectic, I would use these as a sort of a makeshift way of providing myself at least some sort of food, and to take if I were in the rush at my workplace, at the same time trying to juggle phone calls for the business at the same time. So then I would just drink that and then take the supplements at the same time. Okay, third thing, more garbage here. We have some Tim Hortons. So sometimes I would forget to bring the meals, or I didn't have anything, so I just had to go out to the building nearby. It was a banking institution, so think of like Bank of Montreal, think of Montreal, think of Tangerine. There's a building there that has a Tim Hortons. I just purchased some stuff there. So we have some garbage here that I need to cast out onto the side. On the inside, we have a lot of Tim Hortons stuff. And then we have next to it this bowl of spaghetti here that was provided from my caregivers, as well as this. I should mention this stuff right here is from Chinese supermarket. So this food from my caregivers that I really should not have used. You see this Tim Hortons cup here, so I should just put it together. I will say that that's all garbage. The dish needs to be washed. I've eaten some food clear that I'm not supposed to, because I said I'm not supposed to take stuff from caregivers. So that's about 4 items here. And then there's more garbage. Actually, if I lift, I need the light on because it's not working out so well. It's not bright enough. If I lift up, if I pick this up here, we have some mail. And I have to be careful because it's actually quite dirty. Underneath is a wallet. So I'm providing money. I'm reimbursing some money for one of my caregivers, and we'll get to that in a second. But I also still have not managed to pick off the tasks relating to my workplace benefits. So I have to still go and, first of all, meet up with an optician so that I can actually purchase new prescription eyeglasses that were crushed at the bus stop when I was going to work. So that's another main thing I have to do. I have to set up an appointment. I have to see which is a good, I guess, shop. And then I have to finally get it done and file my claims for my employment, because I have to actually want to leave the role that I'm doing at my current job and go for the next prospective job. So that's that. There's at least, like I said, because of this, there's at least, 7 items here that I just spoke about. Another one I have to mention, of course, not even relating to workplace benefits, there's my cell phone there. The brand new one, not the one I'm using right now to record, but that one has to, of course, I need to purchase a pouch. I need to purchase a cell phone pouch. Fairly standard, but I didn't do it yet. On top of that, there's a Rogers wireless or data plan or something like that I have to get going, and so I haven't received a SIM card, so that's inactive. So there's at least 10 items on the desk. All right, laptop. All right, moving on to this side. Yeah, we definitely use 2 streams. So this side here, the laptop has a lot of stuff I need to cover here. It's because it's basically, first of all, I have to purchase a new laptop. There's only about so much space left because I haven't been able to find the time, and that's my issue. That's my time management skills are not up to par yet. Long story short, this laptop here, I have to make a purchase of a new one, and on top of that, there's a lot of stuff that I've been doing on the laptop that obviously I can't show in the room, which we'll get to, but because it's not physical, right? I've obviously had to keep up to date with my banking and financial matters. So I'm going to talk about basically right now. There's some things regarding a new credit card, as well as a new. I know this sounds a little bit confidential, but I'm keeping it very vague, right? Everyone's got a new credit card. I'm going to get a new credit card because it was pre-approved. And on top of that, I also have to saw that there's another institution is sending me a new card that has Interac. So in terms of that, there's at least 2 more mail that I'm expecting, 2 more cards I'm expecting with 2 different institutions. And on top of that, of course, I still need to check and make sure and confirm that I have paid off all the loans from the government as well regarding my education. So that's a whole bunch of stuff related to that. I received also mail from another institution regarding an update to the terms and policies. So what that means is I have to scan all the paperwork from that mail, and then I have to upload it on the computer. So again, a whole bunch of financial stuff, laptop, also purchasing a new laptop. And on top of that, there's a whole lot of stuff regarding business and the nutritional and research related fields that I have to also say is related to the computer, because it could only be done by computer and with my team members. So we're going to actually jump to that on the floor right here. I think we're going to have to cut off the stream in about a minute, but long story short, in the next live stream, when I continue, we will have to cover all what this all symbolizes, because there's a lot of stuff I can't show here. Long story short, I mentioned I'm trying to bring my caregiver back up to speed. She's suffering every day from a severe bone infection, most likely, and she's getting like 2 to 3 hours of sleep per day, which is ridiculous. Her health is, and because of that, something's wrong. Sorry. I've joined this sort of business with a fellow volunteer I mentioned. So relationships, business, finance, health, all just coming at the same time. And long story short, I will have to cover that in the next live stream. There's at least 50 tasks, group of items to cover there, and so we'll just continue in the next one. See you all there right here on the Ahn Rho Project, whichever platform you're from.